everybody. This is Hank Zona of the Grapes Unwrapped. You know, I've been in this area for a better part of my life, and when I think Kearny, I think great Scottish and Portuguese populations. I think soccer. I think fish and chips and other Scottish food. Up until recently, I never really thought about barbecue, but thanks to Katie and Dan Misuraca here at Red White Que in Kearny, you gotta think barbecue. Katie, Dan, thanks for having us in. Really appreciate it.
Our pleasure.
And, it's early in the morning, but this is a typical day for you guys, isn't it?
Absolutely. Our day starts at 6 a.m. every day.
Because barbecue, and we're not talking about barbecue where people are flipping burgers and dogs. This is real barbecue with a Q, not a C. Real barbecue is a 24-hour thing, isn't it?
Absolutely. That smoker never turns off.
Yeah, and it's smoky in here, folks. If you had smell-o-vision on this mic, my producer Mike, you'd be able. It's a beautiful wood smoke smell here that permeates. You might need a little Visine alert a little bit later, so no close-ups on my eyes.
Yeah, everyone's going to know you were here as soon as you leave.
As soon as I leave. And you know what? And I'll be happy that they know I was here, because I came here for dinner one night last week before we arranged to do this shoot, and the food was great. But not only did I smell the food all the way home, you know, because we took it home to eat, but I smelled the smoke all the way home too, which was really nice because it's truly authentic. Yeah. Really fantastic. So you're up at 6. Sure. But you're up earlier. It's in your DNA, so to speak. It's in your professional training because you are a Marine. You're not an ex-Marine, you are a Marine.
I'm
There's no
a
such
Marine
thing as
for
an
life.
ex-Marine.
Absolutely.
Right. And so tell me how that shapes your day-to-day existence here.
Well, you know, barbecue is very disciplined. Everything is time, temperature. Mm-hmm. You know, you can't come to work 30 minutes late, or you're gonna, not have good quality food. Mm-hmm. It's from the Marine Corps. You get up, you're disciplined, you get the job done.
You're doing more, like the old Army commercial, you're doing more before 9 a.m. than most people do all day, right? Yeah. Absolutely. You're a Marine through and through. It's in your bones, and it reflects a lot in your business model here, doesn't it? I mean, it's reflected right here when you walk in, but it's really all over the place. Explain to us some of the things that you're doing here that really pay tribute and homage to your background.
Well, we have a buy a vet a meal program, which it's really cool because it's really cool. It's funded by our customers. Yeah. You know, our customers come in, they want to give back to the veteran community, so they'll buy a gift card to buy a vet a meal, and we'll use that money, and we'll throw big, huge, parties for veterans and their families eat free that day. Wow. We'll take food up to the VA hospital. We'll donate food to the VFW and the American Legion, so they can in turn make money for their self-funded businesses.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of what we created here, our slogan is be a part of the American dream.
Yeah,
Because for us, this is our dream.
Absolutely.
And as an American, you have the opportunity to really achieve whatever it is that you want if you're willing to work hard for it and put yourself out there and take the risk and make it pay off for yourself. And we really felt like that's what we were trying to achieve here. This is our dream.
Well, you did achieve it because now you all met through business.
Yeah.
You were working in corporate America and retail. And this was born out of a hobby, out of an interest, out of your weekend socializing, wasn't it?
Yeah, right out of our backyard. We'd love to throw parties, have our friends come, and she bought me a little warmer for our housewarming gift when we bought the house, a little smoker. And we would just throw parties every weekend. And, I'd cook a brisket. She'd make all the sides.
Yeah, there were 2 things we really like to do, right? We really like to throw a good party, right? Yeah. And then we really like to work. Like, that's how we met. That's what we do. That was like our whole life is working and running businesses. We felt really passionate about it. We loved it. And also, we really love to throw parties. And we found that this barbecue, actually, there might be a viable business there. And not only just to make a life for ourselves, but also to just enjoy doing it. It's fun.
Well, you're living your American dream. American dreams aren't easy. Takes a lot of hard work, took a lot of time. I mean, so you took an idea, you took a hobby and interest that you were good at, but it doesn't necessarily always translate smoothly into a business. What did it take?
Yeah, I mean, it takes a lot of hard work and a big risk, right? So we knew we had the work ethic and the commitment to be able to at least try our best to make it happen. But really, it would have never happened if it wasn't for the community of Kearny and the veteran community rallying with us. When we first started, it all started with Dan and his Marine Corps story and all that. But really, the commander of the VFW right here in Kearny came into us with John Easterday, who now works for us. He's a
first guy we was a vet.
They came in and said, you know, you're the only.
Good at following instruction.
Doesn't say no.
Doesn't ask questions.
No hill is too high.
But you know, they came in and said, hey, you know, you're the only veteran-owned business in Kearny, and we're going to make sure that you're successful. And there's something about that is so necessary for a small business. You can be on TV and you can be on all these things nationwide, but if the people in your neighborhood don't come to your restaurant and don't come support you, it's not going to work.
Someone in Topeka may love your story, but they're not going to be walking in here, maybe once if they really are into it, but they're not coming in here as a regular customer.
And we really recognized that right from the beginning, and it felt, I mean, when you work this hard, you put everything out on the line, that one person that walks in is such a blessing to you, right? I mean, you will kiss the ground and you're like, thank you for coming here. You know, so you want to serve them the best food, you want to give them the best service, and you want to give back because it means so much.
Well, I am not going to make light of this because we said this when we were having our conversation earlier. There's lots of good food in New Jersey. There's not a lot of good barbecue. There's lots of good food. There's not a lot of good service in New Jersey. Sure. And one of the things I was struck, even though you're a small and a casual place, and I walked in here at 8:30 as the place was winding down on a weeknight, quiet weeknight, I was treated incredibly well. You're given all kinds of friendly service, given lots of information about the product, and it really stood out. You know, they weren't phoning it in at 8:30 and knowing that that guys were going to close soon, and they were getting ready to clean up and get out of here.
Yes.
And that's the culture.
And I don't minimize that because it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen all the time. Sure. So again, you not only you're making really good food, but you've instilled this great customer service standard in here, and that's another reason why I think the community probably turns out for you as well. Sure. So
when you know, Dan will tell you about how important it was for us to create a positive culture.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah,
positive culture, and this is our ideal restaurant that we're looking for. Even though we found it on Craigslist.
Yeah,
thank God. We wanted an open kitchen. I wanted everyone to see the real smoker. I wanted to have the cutting station where I could talk to. The customers. Katie's right there.
You did a good job at that.
Katie's right there, and we just wanted a super small place so we can be interactive.
You engage
and cage, and and talk to the people that are coming in. Give us a try. I'm so thankful that we found a place perfectly in Kearny.
100% authentic, and we're using
hickory wood. 100%.
Hickory wood. You're getting a couple pallets of it a week, right?
Yeah.
You said. How many pounds of meat you think you're going through approximately?
We do about a couple thousand pounds.
A couple thousand, so a ton of meat.
Ton of meat, we'll call it
literally and figuratively.
Yes, it feels like it.
Well, it's good upper body workout too.
Oh yeah, these guys are strong. We have our basement where the walk-in cooler is, and they lug all that up here.
That's the next thing, the Marine barbecue workout video. I think.
Absolutely.
You like my camo shirt? Pretty cool, huh? And it's my first camo.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, so I'm happy to. Thank you. You know what? I feel honored to be a part of the club. I really do. So we're going to show you through the magic of video how we start and how we end. It's really a 24-hour process.
Oh.
So this meat will be ready tomorrow morning, won't it?
Yeah, this meat will go in. It's about a 15-pound certified Angus beef brisket.
Nice.
We're gonna season it with our nice basic salt and pepper rub.
Keeping it simple.
Keeping it simple. It's just salt and pepper. We want the meat to be the star of the show, not the seasoning.
And this meat, I gotta tell you, I haven't had the brisket last week. The meat doesn't speak for itself, it sings. It does. It really does. So it's just a rub, and that rub's gonna stay on there.
Yeah, the rub's gonna stay on there, and what it is that pepper's gonna catch that smoke, and that's what it's gonna give you that nice big crust.
So you're getting this. You're getting all your meat coming in from the Midwest.
It's come from the same Midwest farms. It's humane farms where they humanely treat the animals, and that's a big difference in taste because the animals are less stressed out.
Right.
And when animals are stressed out, they release hormones that.
Yeah.
It's a difference.
Yeah, it toughens up the meat too, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Right? So you want.
So we're going to get
animals.
a nice big coat on there. And we're not shy.
No, not at all. I can see that, and in fact, it's great because I can smell the pepper now, not the smoke.
Yeah.
But it's great. I mean, and again, it's just right at it. That's good.
Nice and simple.
So that'll sit then till
it's going to sit tonight. We're going to put that in the smoker probably about 6, 7 p.m. And it's going to cook all night long and be ready for lunchtime.
At least 12 hours.
At least 12 hours.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes 16 or 18, depending on where it's at on the smoker.
So it's a combination of things. So you're checking temperature, but it's also look and feel, isn't it?
It's more look and feel than anything.
It's more art than science.
The thermometers we have are just real expensive toothpicks.
Yeah, you can get cheaper ones, you know that. Yeah. So, excellent. And you said you probably do, I think you told me earlier, like 1,400 pounds of brisket a week?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now that's interesting, Katie, right? Because one of the things we're talking about, when I think barbecue in this neck of the woods, we'll say in the Northeast, or at least in the New York metro area, I'd say pork is usually king at a lot of barbecue places, right?
Yeah, and I think that's just because most people don't do brisket. Brisket is the most finicky meat to make. It's the
hardest one to master.
It's the hardest one
100%.
to master. It takes the most time to really learn how to do it right. So for us, it's a home run because we feel like we've got a really good product here, and it is like our go-to thing that everyone really comes here especially for.
You logged a lot of backyard hours, didn't you?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
I ruined a lot of briskets too. A lot of briskets.
But you had a lot of happy ones too. Yeah,
Absolutely.
a lot of happy ones too. Excellent, that's fantastic. Now, this is something that was born out of your backyard parties and out of your kitchen at home. You're self-taught.
Absolutely.
You didn't go to barbecue university.
No.
They didn't teach you in the Marines. That's the one thing they didn't teach you, did they?
I'm an obsessive compulsive hobbyist. I get into something, I get into it.
Oh yeah.
And just the information that's out there in the world and the internet, and I just try to absorb as much as I can and try on error. If I like it this way, move on.
Yeah, and barbecue is really, what's cool about barbecue is there's a really big community around it and a culture of barbecue.
Right,
and with that culture of barbecue, there is so much information out there, and everyone's kind of doing barbecue their own way or whatever, but everyone wants to kind of share the information.
But here's the problem too, there's a lot of information, but it's not always necessarily the right information.
No, totally.
So you still have to do it.
It is trial and error.
Yeah.
You can't just do your first brisket and think it's going to be.
You can have the recipe, it's salt and pepper, but you have to cook it.
You have to cook it the right way. You have to have a feel for it.
Yeah.
But also, you probably experimented a bunch of different woods too, right?
Absolutely.
So that's a big part of it.
A lot of different rubs. I tried this, that, and I just went with what I like the best.
Cool. And it works. So when we come back, we're going to see what it looks like 24 hours later, even though it's going to be a minute later. So here we are, theoretically 24 to 28 hours later. Dan's got his highfalutin toothpick here, and this is what you do now in the morning.
Absolutely.
You're opening those doors to meet Wonderland.
Yes.
And you're going to see if this is ready to rock, and if it is, it's coming out, right?
Absolutely.
Wow. Folks, there's some serious meat in there. So you've got sausage in there, you've got wings in there.
We got sausage, we got wings, we have ribs.
I got Smokehouse.
And we make our sausage in-house. I'm going to poke to see how tender this guy is.
That looks tender.
Yeah, it's just going easy. When I know that it just goes in there easy, it's ready to come out.
Wow.
This guy's a beast. Be careful.
Wow.
It's a fighter.
It's fighting you back, isn't it? But you won. You win. You win again.
You're going to get eaten.
I mean, it looks beautiful. And one of the things that people don't realize when you're slow cooking it that way too is you're concentrating everything that's in there, right? So you're concentrating not just the sugars in there, and getting that caramelization and that crust, but even like the savory nature of the meat as well.
Absolutely.
And when you're working with that really good meat,
you start with
really
good meats
comes
after
out.
battle. Then we're going to take out we got a couple pork shoulders here that are ready to come out. And that's where you can really see that crust on those guys.
Yeah.
Because that has a lot of brown sugar, a lot of garlic, a lot of oregano.
Nice. And these are bone in.
Yeah, bone in.
Because that's where the flavors come from. And you get more radiate, the heat coming out.
More meat closer to the bone is definitely more flavor.
There's a point in every video where I usually say I love what I do, and that's probably around the time when I start to taste wine and food, and especially this food. And we're at that point. I love what I do. Wow, looks good. So we have a wine. I'm going to talk about in a moment. But tell us first what I am fortunately going to be tasting here in a moment.
Well, we got some of that brisket that we cooked overnight.
Yeah.
Over here we got our pulled pork. It's a Carolina style where we add rub and then a nice pepper vinegar sauce to it when we serve. We have our vinegar coleslaw. We have our collard greens with ham hock. And we have our jalapeno cheddar cornbread.
Dynamite. Really. And probably one of the most important tools to have on any table in barbecue place is the paper towel dispenser, right? So
you can't mess around with little napkins.
No, this is critical. We're just peeling this stuff off, and I'm going to be too. But we also you have a bunch of your own sauces, right? And this is, and before you tell us what they are, a really important thing about pairing is, when you're pairing any kind of beverage with food, you can't consider just the one item. You got to consider the whole dish. These are all yours. These are all homegrown, so to speak, and again, part of your years of experimentation.
Yeah. Well, it's funny you talk about pairing wines with barbecue.
Yeah.
We pair sauces with meats, right?
Sure.
So a lot of times people will come in and say, okay, well, which sauce should I do with the brisket, or what should I do with this? And we have our own little secrets of what goes best with what meats,
Yeah. I realize that. So tell us what we have.
Okay, so we have 6 different kinds of sauces. We have 3 that are vinegar-based sauces. So we'll start with Alabama White. This is a mayonnaise and vinegar mix, and it's something that's pretty unique to the South. You're not going to walk into a lot of restaurants and see any kind of Alabama White sauce. It is, and that is really good on chicken. Then we have a mustard vinegar, which is
Carolina traditional, right?
Eastern Carolina, South Carolina, and it's great on pork. The vinegar and pork are match made in heaven.
Because pork has a sweetness to it, more than I think any other meat, and so you're balancing that out with that acidity, with that vinegar, which is also again a pairing principle with wine. You want a good food wine is a wine that has acidity to it.
Kearny's Revenge. This is one of our personal favorites. This is a newer sauce, and this is from the one and only.
The one Red White Que.
You
can't get it anywhere else.
This one is a tangy vinegar sauce as well. And it's super spicy. It's meant to hurt you a little bit.
Okay.
Ketchup based.
Again, really good on pork, but frankly, you can put it on anything.
If you like spicy, it's good.
Then we've got 3 different style, like kind of traditional sweet sauces.
This is what most people would think of as barbecue sauce.
As a barbecue sauce, exactly, so you have regular sweet sauce, traditional barbecue. Okay, then we have devil dog spit.
Where'd that name come from?
The Marine Corps.
The Marine Corps, right? A Marine is a devil dog.
I know that. Right?
So
it is not a snack item.
Right. And the devil dog spit is not to be messed with. It is a spicy.
Nor is any devil dog.
Exactly. Right? So it's not quite as spicy as the Kearny's Revenge, but it's a good kick. So if you like spicy, that one's really good. And all 3 of these are really good on beef and on brisket.
What should I try? Where should I start? I'll start with a little bit of this. So
little collard greens.
Collard greens, which is pretty classic, and you're using some pork in there.
Yeah,
right?
we got a ham hock in there. We cook with them. A little bit spicy. They got a kick.
Yeah, and this is something that Dan used to make for me, and I'd never had a collard green before because I'm from New Jersey. I grew up in New Jersey. Dan's from the South. So I'd never
had tomatoes.
Yeah, exactly. I'll teach him a thing or two.
Damn good tomatoes.
Or Taylor ham, wherever.
Taylor ham to me.
So he used to make these for me, and I was like, oh my God, what is this? So he would make them for me all the time. So it was, of course, something we had to put on the menu.
So that's got just the right amount of smoke in it.
Yeah.
It's got that nice vinegar kick in there. So there's an acidity in there.
Absolutely.
And it's a nice pepperiness. But here's the best part. I didn't have to spend 10 minutes chewing it. Some of my places that make collards in this part of the country, I feel like a cow. By the time I can actually swallow the thing. So that's nice.
Barbecue takes a lot of time to make.
And collards obviously do too, right?
Boil. Everything takes a long time to make.
And coleslaw. So this is not that. This is not a mayonnaise-y coleslaw. This is another like a vinegar base again, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Just oil, vinegar.
Keeping it simple.
And this is, again, one of the things, like the whole menu is all stuff that we would make at our house.
If you use good ingredients, you don't need to fuss too much with it.
No, you really don't. And Dan's family used to make, this is originally his Pappy's recipe, so this is Pappy's coleslaw. And what makes it unique is it's hand-cut cabbage, so we only do hand-cut cabbage. It has a little bit of red cabbage in it, green cabbage, and then it's a vinegar slaw. So if you don't like vinegar, You're not gonna like this one.
No, now, should I put a little bit of? What should I put on there?
I'd put the mustard vinegar on that pork.
Yes, sir.
That's my favorite.
Yes, sir.
Here, I'll squeeze some on there for you.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's a great color too.
Yeah,
it's my favorite sauce.
Barbecue is delicious to eat, but it's also like pretty beautiful.
Yeah.
So again, that's something that's unique. You're not going to find a lot of barbecue restaurants up here in New Jersey. Is the selection of sauces. So it really adds something to the meal.
Again, it's not overwhelming.
No.
And everything, because I want to taste the meat.
Yeah.
And I taste that meat, and that smoking meat is what I get on my aftertaste.
Great.
The sauce is there, but it's not. It's not overwhelming, but it complements it really well.
And that's why we serve all of our meat. Dry rub, sauce on the side. You know, if you don't like sauce, don't add sauce. Sauce is a complement to the meat.
So speaking of complimenting, I decided to open a bottle of wine that I thought would go great, not just specifically with the food, but with the whole meal. What do you like to drink with your barbecue?
I like beer.
You like beer? Yeah. And what do you like to drink with your barbecue?
I like bourbon.
You like bourbon?
Okay.
You like bourbon. I love bourbon, and I love beer too. But because I do wine, what kind of comes close to replicating what people might traditionally drink with barbecue? I'd say most people probably drink beer.
Yeah.
It's what they can easily grab for. Some people actually make bourbon, I hear, but on occasion. But I think that's really cool. So I like wines that sparkle. I like wines with a fizz because it has the same impact that a beer has or a great cider has. And I think ciders are fantastic with barbecue too. And that is that acidity goes great with food, and the bubbles help scrub the palate because you're going to get a buildup over time with smoke and sauces and all that, and it's more refreshing. Yeah. So I went to Italy actually I did go to Italy, and I have actually visited this winery, Opera O2 in Emilia-Romagna, which is a great food region. They're doing lots of great slow-cooked meats up there too, not smoked necessarily. The outer regions in Italy do meat, and they do it really well. Lambrusco is just a great food wine. This is a red wine that sparkles. So I wouldn't compare it to a champagne or a Prosecco, but it's really more of a red wine, but it's got a fizz to it. So I'm going to try it because I think it's going to go great with the beef.
There we go.
I'm going to take a little taste of this. We poured that out a little bit, and I know you tasted a little bit before, so I'm going to try some of this. You guys going to join me in this? Or?
Yeah, I am.
Oh, should I put something on there, or should I just have it as it is?
Try it like that.
I'm going to have it as it is first.
Try it as it is first, and then we can. I would suggest a pepper espresso.
I mean, we were talking big game on the pepper.
Yeah.
So again, this tastes like red wine, not tastes like beef, because when you smoke it like that, again, you're kicking up all those flavors. Everything gets concentrated.
Yeah.
Sorry for talking with food in my mouth, folks. I'm gonna try a sauce now.
All right.
Squeeze it on.
Thank you. Now, Lambruscos can be sweet. They can be semi-sweet. I chose a really dry one. Because again, you want a good, refreshing, crisp beer with this, or a nice dry cider, and again, all I want. So let's try that espresso. It's good.
It's good.
I'm going to start bottling that stuff. I turn the camera off for a while. We'll be back, and we're going to talk some more in a bit, because I want to eat. We'll be back on food. You're a neighborhood joint, and here we are on the street, on the sidewalk, in front of your restaurant, and in this neighborhood, there's houses. There's a mom over there with a stroller. The neighbors were waving before. Yeah. You know, people who work for you live on the block here. Kearny High School's right there. Yeah. You know, it's great to be in a neighborhood, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yep.
And you've become a part of it too.
Yeah, this really feels like our home. I mean, oh yeah, we've made a lot of friends.
Yeah, absolutely, and we do a lot with the community. We just. Anytime the town has a function going on, we try to be there.
Excellent. Yeah. And you guys are living it, and you're doing it, and it's thriving. I just love the fact that you are not just giving back to the community, but you're giving back to the greater veteran community. And again, you're a Marine for life. I know that. There's no such thing as an ex-Marine. So we paired wine with food, But sometimes I like to pair wine with something else, and I want to pair wine with your philosophy, and your philosophy of giving back, not just community, but giving back to veterans. So I did find this wine, Purple Heart Wines, is a side project of the Mondavis. The winemaker is an Air Force vet, and it's actually good wine. This is not a gimmick wine, but the nice thing about this wine is that they give a portion of the proceeds back to the Purple Heart Association, which is does a lot of tremendous stuff. So I thought this would be a great way to take our show out, to toast. Folks, come to Kearny. You're not just supporting a great business, but you're supporting a greater good on top of that as well, because that's what Dan and Katie are doing here. And there's a greater good to food, but there's also a greater good to supporting veterans as well, and supporting community. So we're going to go out with a toast. A lot of times when we just toast with different ethnic foods, we'll do a toast in that ethnic language, how they would toast it. But I guess the best way to do a toast here is to, if you don't mind me using a Marine toast. So Katie, Dan, hoorah! Hoorah! Cheers.
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 This is Hank Zona of the Grapes Unwrapped. Join us again next time where we meet some really great people and interesting folks. Dan, Katie, thanks for having us in this morning. Have a great day. We'll catch you again next time. Hoorah.